Today is Saturday, November 4th, 2023. The local Pacific time is 5:28 p.m. 5:28 p.m. Welcome to the Mike in the Night pre-show, folks. I'm just trying to get this set up here for tonight's show. We will be going live on D Live later this evening for you guys to speak freely, and then we will upload the replays to other platforms that we're allowed to or that we're still on. And just want to bid everybody a good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky or your camper or cabin in the woods, or just couch surfing, or relaxing on your lazy boy. How does it go? It is 3 a.m. and something is moving you. You're tuned in to Mike in the Night 531. This is the pre-show, folks, so nobody freak out, because we can't really talk about certain things on here. We don't have the privilege to. We're not allowed to. YouTube has been looking for many ways to get rid of us. We are not welcome on this platform. And after 19 YouTube suspensions, you guys get where this is going, right? So anything we say, and then we check along the other videos made and the same title matches ours, but other channels are allowed and privileged to make content. They're allowed and they're privileged to make content. And we got Titan Xantos in the house. Xantos in the house. Not too many people here. So just going to do this pre-show for you guys, making sure my audio and everything's working, because we're going live on D-Live, folks. We're moving over to D-Live. We just can't build any traction on Rumble. After our first, we couldn't stream for a long time. And then after, we came back after 8 months. Towards the end of 2020, we tried it again, and we just can't pick up anything. We just can't pick up any steam. We're not being promoted by the platforms, so I don't want to tie up their bandwidth, and I don't want to ruin Rumble's bandwidth and ruin their whatever they got going there. They got a lot of stuff going there. They got a lot of Rumble heroes, and they're doing well. And I thought maybe if I brought over Mike in the Night there from Odyssey, and we could probably get something rolling, but it never took off. And we just have a small community since 2016, and some of the callers have been calling in for years now, and kind of we've predicted everything that's happened, and we've discussed everything that's already happened. We've done many predictions. We've been on Johnny on the spot, right? So we've been really good at a lot of that stuff. We were wrong about quite a few things, but we were right about a lot of the major things. And I want to thank everyone that's called in all these years. Oh, I was watching a Mike in the Night from 2017. Oh my God, the callers. Yeah, some good callers. We had to hack a few episodes of Mike in the Night that were up there, because we had the Orlingers on there, and the Orlingers ended up causing a lot of trouble for us, even in my town. And that caused a huge problem for me and my family. And somebody donated a lot of money to the channel to help me out and help fund the transmission. And then after they decided that they've debunked me and they wanted their money back, after I gave them all these after these donations were given to me, I had to pay them back. And they didn't ask me to pay the interest back, but they wanted the money back in full. So that's why we never really want to take donations for the longest time, even though we have Buy Me a Coffee or whatever. But it's been a never-ending struggle. But I'm happy to be with you guys. Let's head over to the contents. Let's head over to the comments here real quick. Rave Elevator saying, "Hey, Average Mike, I love Bitcoin, LOL. Nice hat," says Shane. Then we have Sandy. "Hey, Mike, I just caught this post on Facebook. Hello, everybody." I'm not live on Facebook right now, and we're not going live on Facebook. Are we live on Facebook? That's impossible. I don't think we are. Yeah, this is just a pre-show, folks, and we're going to move over to D-Live, so keep that in mind, folks. We're going to be cutting this off, and yeah, we're not live on Facebook. So let me give you guys the link, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to be doing with you guys with that, okay? It's average boo to YouTube and boo to Rumble. You know what it is? They catch on to us, and then we have to move platforms. They end up catching on to us. Videos keep getting removed, and we're not notified on some of the platforms. So there's a couple of blatant videos that were removed that weren't even. At least YouTube says I get 2-3 notifications a day on YouTube saying we have removed your video about digital ID and digital passports from 2016 because of medical misinformation. So we actually get that. So at least YouTube tells us today we're removing 5 videos for medical misinformation, right? And we were talking about how electric cars won't be the thing of the future and how electric cars are going to be more problematic. And we actually went into the video discussing the battery technology of the time from 2016 or 17 and how it's so dirty and so anti-productive to make electric vehicles. But that video got taken down for medical misinformation too. So Captain Freedom is saying, yo, dude, I might not always comment, but I always listen. Thank you. You need a copy of Canadian papers if you want a large audience, says Shane. Maybe Shane should call into the other once we switch over to Mike in the Night. Yeah, I'm wearing this American hat. Yeah, somebody was complaining in the comments, why is he wearing an American hat for? Sandy saying, sorry, Mike, my mistake, caught you on YouTube. Okay, there you go. I knew I wasn't live on Facebook, dude. You guys got me. See, when you engage with your audience on a regular basis, you talk like human beings back and forth, and we've been doing this for so many years. Okay, let's go into, real quick here, I want to show you guys what's going on. And I got to be really careful what I show you guys here. So this is the D Live here. This chat is always open. This chat is always open. And I'm going to say hello. And I'm going to let people know that I will keep this. You'll have to wait a bit longer before you post another message. Yeah, it's got a spam bot thingy that kicks in. But okay, I'll have this chat on for you guys pretty much all week. While I'm at work, I'll have the chat open. This chat is like a chat room. It's open pretty much 24/7 for you to go in and drop a comment on the live on the live stream. And if you guys want to come in and say, hey, Mike, or give a link, hey, Mike, you should make a video, or you okay, or whatever. So I'm typing right now live, you okay. There it is. And it's right there. And it stays there until it just stays there. And I can go back through the chat and see what you guys are talking about through the week. So it doesn't have to be, this is like a real-time thing. So it sits there and it just sits there. I could go back and I could check all the chat that you guys are telling me through the week, or I'm hanging out at the shop and somebody, John or Frank, sent me a message. Okay, good job. Thanks for tipping me off on this, I really appreciate that very much, right? All right, so there it is right now. And I want to... Maybe I will jump into a censorship section here on the show. We could talk about censorship. And I got some articles up in the upcoming censorship. So V-Car's in the house. Hey, how you doing? Mike, like me, believes in the Constitution of the United States of America. Oh, 100%. The Constitution of America is the only thing I would actually fight for here in Canada. I wouldn't even fight for anything Canadian. I'd fight for the American Constitution. Because once that Constitution goes, it's game over. It's absolute game over. So someone's saying, have a great chat, not downloading DLive. I have the app. I got the DLive app too. And the DLive app is amazing. And I'm using it. I've been actually on other streams. So I've been on other streams and chatting on there too and talking to people. It's really good. The interfacing is very good. So I'm happy with that at least. So Yeah, nobody wants to go on, move around on platforms, but unfortunately, we have to make this move to, or it would be, I don't know, I just couldn't do Mike in the Night. So we had to make this move, unless we take a break for maybe 7-8 months and see if things change a bit. But for me to continue Mike in the Night, unless we go fully censored on YouTube, and then that's okay. But we are on this very specific list because we actually discuss money laundering, fentanyl. We discuss all the stuff that's happening today was already discussed on this channel a decade ago. But now the problem we're having now is we've been connecting the dots for too many years and stepping on too many toes. And there are actually higher level people that actually want my videos gone, right? That's why I'm getting 3 to 5 videos on average a week being taken down for medical misinformation. What is the state of homelessness in Canada? It's enormous. We're covering that for almost 10 years here on the channel, and how people are being forced into homelessness. Canadian proper working 2 jobs. Same thing like in Australia. Australian proper working 3 or 4 jobs, and they're still living in a tent. So, state of homelessness is out of control. So we got Pat Riot from the UK. Man, it's got to be at least midnight there, or 1 o'clock in the morning. At least 1. So we got Deborah saying, morning, Pat, watching from Spain. Holy crap. So that's got to be, Spain is east of Portugal, so that's got to be at least 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning there. That's just east of my home country, Portugal. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of inside and back information that I can't really discuss with you guys, unless I'm willing to go to court and having a lot of problems. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to move to DLive, plain and simple. Mike, so morning, Mike. Okay, and from Spain, Pancho 467 is saying good luck. Buena suerte, amigo. Muy buena suerte. People gear in Southern California have given up on working 2 to 3 jobs and are just settling on homelessness and living in cars. And that was something that we very covered here on the channel, folks. And living in cars, we did a whole special on that, actually. Let me see if the video's even still up. So let's see what we got here for living in cars. So we got, oops. Okay, I meant to open that one there. Living in cars and tents banned. New Zealand, living in trees and cars. But this is like 5 years, 4 years. $15 a night rental, let's sleep in a car. That's in Vancouver. Independent car owners being charged carbon tax monthly. 8-year older cars, climate change. Get out of California middle class getting wiped out by CCP. Amerifornia is real. More people sleep in cars 5 years ago. So it's been something that's already been brewing for many years. House broke. Westerners. New Zealand. Rent is what? Full-time workers need to sleep in cars. Economic takeover 4 years ago. So they're blaming the pandemic on all this stuff. But this stuff was already happening way before the pandemic hit, right? So this is way before they pulled the trigger on the pandemic, right? And death to the big city by 2020. That's death to the big city by 2020. Major cities unaffordable across Western countries minus red states. So house broke. Westerners not traveling as much and not starting families, taking on too much debt 6 years ago. So you notice how they're all around the same time? But the problem I'm having is a lot of my 10, 12-year-old videos are gone. So Deborah's saying it's 1:40 in the morning there. Then we got Bank of America and other banks are delaying deposits and withdrawals today. Did you see it in the news? This is why Bitcoin. This is why I Bitcoin average Mike. Okay. Yep, there's a lot of problems, and the banking system is collapsing, folks. And it's been like this for a good while. It's been happening since. It's the root of the problem started in 2014 when it really started to become a very prevalent. And then by 2019, they were out of control with the repo markets. They were out of control with everything. And then they had to pull the trigger on the pandemic, right? So they had no choice. San Luis Obispo County, we have safe park where people live in their cars, trucks, RV, etc. Interesting. I did not know that. Deborah Hart saying the cockroaches are collecting. And then we got living free in a car, truck, camper doesn't make you homeless, but smart move if you have the room. Yes. MNJ is in the house. How you doing, bud? VCar saying fill up. Definitely, it's not standard we are used to in America. Yeah, that's what the whole deal is, right? It's like if you work a job, you know, Canada up until 1993. Up until 1993 in Canada, if you actually had a job, all you needed was a job, and you had everything. And I'm not talking about a high paying job. I'm talking about a little middle end blue collar not really a factory, but something, maybe loading boxes or something. You could get by easily. Yeah. V-Cars, yeah, I understand, not for everyone. So, yeah. Guys, I'm going to give you guys the link here to our D-Live. We're going to be going live, folks, and we're going to be going live on the actual Mic of the Night, so I could take your call-ins. And this way, when I do your call-ins, it's a lot easier. Because I don't censor anybody, so there it is right there if you guys want to join us later. I got it open right here, and I got the live chat open. And that live chat's open all the time, so... Someone says, bummer, missed the live. Nope. You early. Yeah, and then we got Mr. Nobody there in New Zealand in the house. Oh, yeah, I know everybody. We know each other here. It's been so many years. It'd be embarrassing if I didn't even know who you people were after all these years, and visiting me at my store, and calling me at my store, emailing me. So Philip is saying, I work full-time at 67, collect CPP, OAS, cheap apartment, but rather move out, get a truck, camper, live life more simple. Yeah, less overhead, eh? Glad you back on YouTube, Mike. Well, I hit and miss YouTube all the time because sometimes I go on a suspension. Nobody knows. I can't make a video to tell people. Nice to be here on your live, Mike, here in Innisfil, Australia. Is it Innisfil or Innisfail? Innisfail or Innisfil? Australia. So Junkyard Dog is saying just had supper crossing the border shortly. So we got boots on the ground everywhere on this show. This is probably why. We're constantly having to move around on platforms. This is probably why we're constantly what is happening to us constantly. I want to get into a headline here, and we'll keep you guys posted on this. Police responding to hostage crisis at German airport. Read that again, folks. Police responding to hostage crisis at German airport. The transport hub of Hamburg has been shut down after an armed man drove his car through the gate. An armed man drove his vehicle through a security gate in Hamburg airport in northern Germany on Saturday night, prompting a lockdown and cancellation of all takeoffs and landings. The suspect has a 4-year, one child in the car, and is currently in contact with police, who are describing the incident as a static hostage situation. We have good contact with the perpetrator, a police spokeswoman told German media, she added. So there it is right there, folks. So now Germany and Europe is falling apart. People are losing it in Europe. And oh yeah, it's the migrants, Mike. Yeah, it's the migrants, but it's also the German proper. They are paying a fortune for food. They're paying a fortune for heat. They are paying a fortune just to live a basic lifestyle. And people are losing it. People are losing it on every front. And then the massive migration problem in Germany and the increase in violence and knife attacks. It never ends in Germany. And other parts in Sweden, and we're going to cover those parts on the other Mike in the Night when we switch over. Police spokesman Thomas G said earlier that the man had rammed his vehicle through the gate around 8 p.m. local time. His car then reportedly stopped on the tarmac. Whoa. The man threw 2 Molotov cocktails out of the car without causing any damage, Gerbert said, according to newspaper Die Welt. The man twice fired a pistol into the air. Other reports said that he also has explosives. The man's wife had previously contacted the police reporting a possible kidnapping of a child. So this is what we're getting here on the ground. So it's 12 seconds long, folks. Nobody panic. It's on X or Twitter or whatever it's called now. So it looks like everything's on lockdown. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is I'm not trying to scare people or anything, but this is going to be a new norm. Things like this will become a new norm. As the police get more and more defunded and governments start going broke, they're going to keep taxing more and more the citizens, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. It's going to be an absolute day and night nightmare, and Europe is getting pretty hard with this, folks. Europe is getting trampled, right? Okay. Government-owned banks is Earthsign. That's where we're going. Good day, all. Hi, Mike. Hey, Rob. Stock up yesterday, says Lorena. LOL, Richard. Can it get worse? It is, guys. And I'm not trying to. And I've made this prediction on Mike of the Night. No, I've made this prediction on Morning Coffee with Mike. Mike of the Night. I've been making this prediction for you guys for so many years that I believe that 2024 is okay. Let's make a small clip video here. 2024 prediction, guys. 2024, when we've been predicting this on Mike of the Night, will be the year of government-sanctioned murder. And 2024 is going to be the year there's going to be no election in the United States because they won't allow one. And something is going to happen to Donald Trump in September, October of 2024. That's just what I'm feeling. That's what I'm predicting. They're going to do everything in their power to not have an election in the United States. And Canada's going to follow suit. We've already made these videos independently. These videos are already done years ago. Especially the one from Canada, that Canada will not see an election in 2025. They're going to find a way to suspend elections. They're going to do everything humanly possible to suspend elections. They're not going to have elections, folks. And this is something I've been ridiculed about, made fun of. I've even had people calling me at my store telling me that I'm completely losing my mind. And I just believe, of course it's against the Constitution. Of course it's against people's rights. Of course it's against freedom and liberty. Yeah, I know that. But that's where it's going, folks. And I just wish more people took me seriously years ago. All right. We need a Mike in the Night time capsule for 2024. VCAR, we will do that. Second last week. Before we do our annual Christmas special, we usually do a Mike in the Night prediction show. We've been doing a Mike in the Night prediction show since 2017. You could look them up. I don't know which ones are taken down or which ones are still up, but people call in. Our prediction show, I think the better prediction show we did was the 2020 predictions. I think we had 47 callers on, or 52 callers on, all at 6 to 8 minutes a caller. It was phenomenal. It was a great prediction show. I think that was 2020 predictions from 2019. So the year was 2019. We did 2020 predictions. So it was a great show. I think it was one of the best Mike in the Night prediction shows we ever did. Yeah, selection, election, whatever you want to call it. People keep correcting me. We've been calling it a selection for years. We've been calling it a selection for many years now. Here, let's find out. Selection. That's the best part of having an archive. So here it is, folks. Selection. Amerifornia via Biden selection. There will be no Democratic primaries in 2024. Selection has been made. People have no say. Oh, that's Democratic primaries. So there's going to be no primaries for 2024. Chinese laundering billions of dollars in America. Like, where is this? That was okay. Let's see if we could find Biden selection. Say hello to California. Housing out of reach. Double-digit inflation ahead. Taiwan 3 years ago. Federalization of corporations. I'm just trying to see what else. Wow, that's all I got for selection? Give me a break. I had more than that. Wow, I had more than that. Wow. I guess YouTube's doing a good job cleaning out people's videos. We're all under attack, says Richard. That's right. F the Uniparty, says Rob. Please send the link to DLive. Yeah, I'll keep doing it every 10 minutes for you guys, okay? So we could go on there and have a talk and people could call in. I want you guys to call in, though, right? Because it's really hard. There's DLive right there again, folks. We're going to be going live soon. Not soon. It's not even 6 o'clock here. So, I mean, we've got a little bit of time to go. But I'll get through some of these headlines right now for you guys so we could clear up some space there. So we already covered this police responding to hostage crisis at German airport. And this is something we should just get used to because we're going to be hearing things like this all the time. And let me just close that there so I don't open an article that will get me banned. Okay. So this is the Biden and the subpoena of the check. I don't know if we could talk about that on here. We're not privileged to speak freely. Okay, so we're just going to go. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the censorship report. All right, guys, welcome to the censorship report on Mike of the Night, and I believe wholeheartedly that all these distractions that are happening all over the world are happening for a reason, and they are bringing on a tsunami of censorship that's going to basically blanket us while everyone's being distracted, and they're basically censoring people from saying or taking a certain side. We're going to see more and more censorship going forward, and I believe that they're going to just tsunami a blanket over us. And here we go, folks. So let's get into some headlines. And Bill Gates and George Soros backed Aspen Institute hit with censorship collusion lawsuits. We covered this on Mike in the Night in the 450. We discussed this on Mike in the Night. AFL is expanding its lawsuit, originally filed against the Election Integrity Partnership, EIP. And this is the George Soros-backed Aspen Institute. And these guys are in a lot of hot water. And they are going to do everything to censor us. Now, watch what happens here. UN program pushes digital public infrastructure as EU and Gates Foundation pushes for digital ID by 2030. And we've been talking about, we even have entire videos taken down from 2017 talking about digital IT, digital prison, digital landscape, digital, that was recently taken down for, medical misinformation. So 2030, and this is on Reclaim the Net if you guys want to check it out. And the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, which we brought up multiple times, is launching a project based on what's known as digital public infrastructure, aka DPI. And the overreaching justification explanation of these activities is reaching the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Again, they're one of the Sustainable Goal BS we've been talking about here on the channel. What UNDP is supposed to be doing is pretty clear from its name. But what DPI itself is the buzzword used from somewhat interesting, alarming concord by organizations such as the UN, but also European Union, the Gates Foundation, of course, and of course, I actually said that, yeah. The World Economic Forum is never quite out of any such picture. So there it is. Digital public infrastructure that's coming, folks, is essential for countries to improve their economies as well. Being of people. Basically, they're doing this to censor us so that we don't have any platforms to go on to, right? And the DPI is supposed to do, in the best case scenario, is aid development in a number of ways. Those looking deeper into platitudes and corporate speak coming from these organizations, however, are dismissing the term and the policy as a ruse to speed up introduction to digital IDs and payments with a deadline of 2030. So there it is. Their job is to usher in, fund countries with obviously money to get them to get these projects in place to actually enslave us digitally, digital enslavement. So FBI and DHS heads are slammed for pressuring big tech to censor Americans. Now, if once America goes dark, I think it's game over for the rest of the world. And during a recent Senate Homeland Security Committee on threats to the homeland, the heads of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and Federal Bureau of Investigation were blasted for their agency's roles in pressuring big tech companies to censor Americans. And it goes on to, when it came for Paul to question the DHS security, Alejandro Mayorkas and FBI Director Christopher Wray, he continued to grill from the way their agencies pushed social media companies to silence Americans. He questioned Mayorkas on the DHS meetings with social media companies to discuss content moderation, which were documented in the federal government in social media censorship case Missouri versus Biden. And I think we covered this too. Mayorkas framed these meetings as a public-private partnership to speak out of threats to the homeland so that those companies are alert of them. But Paul noted that the DHS has flagged content about COVID and Hunter Biden laptop story and more to social media companies for censorship. So the Kentucky senator then asked Wray similar questions. Wray admitted that the FBI is still having some interaction with social media companies. So they are, of course, working towards censoring Americans. So there it is, Dr. Rand Paul, not Ron Paul, Rand Paul. And this man is definitely a true American hero.
Did the FBI pay Twitter money to moderate content moderation?
I'm not aware of us paying money to moderate content there or anywhere else.
What was the $3
Bullshit.
million for that the FBI gave that's been revealed in Twitter files, which has been characterized by those writing the Twitter files as payment for content moderation? Basically, they said Twitter, you guys were meeting with them all the time, and you had them taking down so many posts. They said, well, gosh, it's a lot of work. Why don't you pay us? And so you did. You paid them $3 million. Are you aware of the payment?
Well, I'm not aware of that specific payment, but I can tell you that when it comes to payments, going back well over 4 decades, when we are required by federal law, when a company, like in this instance a provider, goes through expenses to produce information, we're required to reimburse them for those expenses. And so I think that a lot of the questions...
He's just going off topic. He's not even sticking to the topic there. You see how it happens? China fines Alibaba for allowing vulgar keywords. And yeah, this is getting intense in China. And last Mike in the Night, we actually covered for you guys that China fined a guy 40 or 20,000 US dollars for using a VPN. I can't remember if it was 20 or 40,000 US dollars for using a VPN. We covered it last week or the week before. That was one of our big headlines. And China's internet is facing a sharp bout of censorship imposed by the nation's internet regulatory body as it clamps down heavily on content regarded as vulgar. Alibaba search engine Quark and the live streaming platform NetEase are the latest victims of this restrictive campaign, being penalized and reprimanded for content deemed inappropriate by the Chinese authorities. So the Chinese could basically create laws and say what they deem as vulgar and dangerous. And people with VPNs, take note. Russia widens its VPN block. And as a strategic maneuver to tighten its control over the internet access, Russia has intensified its campaign against VPNs. Not merely the use, but also the promotion or discussion of these privacy and anti-censorship tools. These recent developments expose deeper concerns about internet censorship and its implementations for the fundamental principle of free speech. In the spring of 2023, as a part of an elaborate communications campaign, Russia issued public service announcements denouncing VPNs. Fast forward to the summer, these seemingly harmless ads took a stark transition into concrete policy changes President Vladimir Putin endorsed regulations demanding select internet platforms, including social media, to verify the identity of users, potentially via their passports, providing guidance on using VPNs to access banned internet resources was deemed a criminal act under these new edicts. So more and more censorship is breaking out, and it's going to keep breaking out because these governments are just losing grip on everything. And Rumble with the Rumble Heroes. Yeah. Let's get some audience clapping. Yeah. Rumble Heroes. Yeah. Rumble opens free live streaming to all, removes five follower minimum. So what they want is to bring more people over so Rumble could push your Rumble Heroes on you. In a move that demonstrates its commitment to fostering a vibrant creative community, video platform Rumble has announced that it will open up live streaming to all of its users, enabling the previous requirement for the channels to have minimum 5 subscribers. Previously, in order to live stream on Rumble, users had to reach a threshold of 5 subscribers. So there it is right there, folks. Unfortunately, we are leaving Rumble. We just can't compete with the Rumble Heroes. So, and we're moving over to D-Live for a year or two, and then we'll just probably find another platform by then and keep moving around if I'm still alive. All right, what is happening here? Keep an eye on Poland as Belgium. Dockers have reused to load arms to Israeli arms are now going through Poland. Putin is not happy, so keep an eye on Poland. Yeah, we will. We keep an eye on Europe here, but unfortunately, we can't really even cover the European news on YouTube. That will actually get us terminated. It's actually really that bad. The European news is actually really that bad. So we have to... It's actually pretty bad. Let me see if I can't even talk about that. I can't talk about that. That will take me out. Oh, okay. We could talk about this one here. I just have to kind of pre-look at some of these headlines, folks, because I don't want to get terminated. Other channels can talk about some of this stuff because they are given the privilege to. Unfortunately, we're not. Okay, truth equals medical misinformation, yeah. Okay, guys, here is the D-Live right there for you guys to join us when we go live at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We got 55 minutes. Let's see who is over in the chat room there right now. Let's see who is there. Oh, there's a lot of people in the... So we got a lot of... So, there it is. Dr. Mysterio always has my back. There he is supporting me here. There he is. He's in the chat there. Hello. See, no one got it. I'm willing to bet 10 years of my life that no one got... that not a single person got a notification that I went live on YouTube. Not you guys. I'm talking about, like, these people here. Someone saying, 1 more hour to go. Can't wait. Hope everything good week. We, like, an hour, right? Mike in the night. Yeah, probably nobody even knows I'm live there. Nobody gets notifications, and it is what it is. They're playing their games. We'll play our games, right? And then by summer of next year, you're going to be like, wow, Mike, how did you know to jump ship on Rumble? Like, who do you know, Mike? Mike, who are you connected to? So, yeah. Yeah, Rave Elevator says, no YouTube. No YouTube notification, yeah. It is what it is, folks. I mean, there's no, what are we going to do, right? All right, let me go through some headlines that I'm allowed to speak of here. I can't. That might get me kicked off. Oh, okay. I got one here I could talk about. I just got to be super careful what I talk about here on the show. All right, folks, like we spoke about multiple times, a military official blows whistle. Big banks about to collapse. 2024 election will be canceled. Here it is. And I've been warning you guys that the 2024 election will be canceled. Something's going to... Well, we made a video stating that it's going to be canceled back in early summer of this year, of 2023. And then we also made a video stating that something's going to happen to Donald Trump by September, October of 2024. And yeah, and this is... They can't afford to have an election in the U.S. because if they do... It's either they're going to fix the election and you're going to see civil unrest, or they're going to try and do whatever they can to suspend the election. They do not want a conservative, right-wing, predominantly a Christian Catholic. Like, that's who I am. That's what I am. I'm a conservative. I lean to the right. I believe in preserving family values. I believe in family value preservation. I believe in the family. I believe in I believe in conserving. Right? So, okay, so here goes. There will be no election. So, military official blows whistle, big banks about to collapse, 2024 election will be canceled. A U.S. military official has blown the whistle on how banks across America are about to close down and the 2024 presidential election is going to be canceled. According to Colonel Douglas Macgregor, there's about to be a sudden closure of all major banks in the U.S., which will start, which will last for up to 3 weeks. So we've been talking about bank closures, the Black Swan. We've been talking about this on the channel for a long time now because a lot of these banks have been living on borrowed times pretty much since 2012. And it's gotten worse. They didn't learn their lesson from 2008, right? And during a recent appearance, Patrick Bet David's podcast, Colonel Macgregor also revealed that the 2024 election will be canceled due to martial law being imposed, right? And Colonel Douglas Macgregor doesn't think we'll even get to the 2024 election. So that was on posted here on June 29, 2023. And that's around the same time it was we were telling you there was not going to be an election in the United States of America. And I've even gone as far to say that there will not be. Something will happen to Donald Trump on the build up to the election. So we've been stating on Morning Coffee with Mike, Average Mikes, we've been warning you guys, they won't allow an election in 2024. Unless... There's got to be so much stipulations in this, right? For it to even be allowed. So, very interesting. Just last week, I brought you the same news from Glenn Beck. Remember this? Glenn Beck, Monday, you could wake up and the banks will all be closed. And again, that's something we've been talking about here very, very, very vocally about the Black Swan and the Black Swan. And here it is right here. There's multiple videos actually we made. Black Swan effect swooping in banking. Panic hysteria spreads. Governments are causing bank failures. 6 months ago, Canadians to withdraw money from banks. No confidence in government. World banking sector headed off a cliff. Worldwide contracting. GDP rigged markets. Rates fixed. Which country's banking system will collapse first? That was quite a few years ago. Canadian bank bail-ins, more runoffs ahead as people lose confidence in governments. That was almost 5 years ago. Mike in the Night, bank bail-ins, banks on the verge of crashing. They keep moving the goalposts. Bank of Canada in serious trouble. Governments caused this. Major banking disaster ahead. Major bank defaults. Banking disaster 5 years, 10 months ago. And I said here in the comments, as sure as my name, the banking industry is in hot water. CIBC bank rant. Canadian banks in danger of failing, while the Great Canadian White Short runoffs imminent 4 years ago. And it just keeps going on and on. Australian banking disaster ahead by 2024. Asset sheet, bad debt, toxic assets, money laundering 5 years ago. Banks in trouble, weekly defaults ahead, questionable practices, excessive greed, systemic runoff. And banks running out of liquidity before they pull the trigger on the pandemic. And they could use, I never said there was going to be a banking angle or bank closures for them to cancel the election. That's not me. That was that gentleman here in this article that said that. That was not me. I just think they're just going to cancel. They're going to find a way to not have elections in 2024, right? This is the gentleman that actually said this. I'm not taking, there it is. Big banks about to collapse. 2024 election will be canceled, right? So this is the gentleman that's saying this. I'm not tying banking to. I just know that they won't have elections in 2024. That was something that I've been very vocal about for a good while now. And the same thing with Canada. They're not going to have a 2025 election. We already said that almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I really hope I'm wrong about a lot of this stuff for America's sake. But yeah. Okay, who's in the comments here? Philip in the comments, Rob Padley in the comments. So far they haven't been able to stop him logically. What's next? Quit courting isn't an option when you are committing treason. Junkyard Dog is giving us an update. He just crossed the border. Oh, Kevin J. Johnston's calling me. And, yeah. Good reporting, Mike, says Mr. Nobody. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming here. And that's our pre-show here. And, and we got people calling me. Unfortunately, no one gets notifications that I'm live, so... See, someone's asking me if I'm going on at 7. YouTube pre-show. Yeah, doing a YouTube pre-show. Just letting other people know that I am live. They're asking if I'm going live at 7. Philip's got 94 cents in his checking. All right, let's see what else we could talk about here that's not going to get me suspended from the YouTube or anywhere. All right, this is a good one because we covered a lot of this too. Okay, let's go. All right, folks, let's jump into our quick housing. Toronto real estate prices drop over $20,000 as listings surge 38%. And that's coming from our friends over at Better Dwelling. What is this telling you, folks? Well, it's telling you a lot. It means we're seeing an oversupply on the market as prices are starting to drop. And Greater Toronto real estate is back on ice cold market after higher rates killed off speculation. Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, TREB, data shows the composite benchmark typical home price made a sharp drop in October. Fewer sales were a major contributor, but the biggest factor is rising inventory, the oversupply, right? A lot more sellers have suddenly appeared and the market isn't ready to buy at the current price level. Yeah, Canadian proper cannot buy. This is benchmarked Greater Toronto. Greater Toronto real estate are off the peak. So this is the benchmark price of homes in the Greater Toronto area. So it's sitting at the $1.1 million mark right now. And all these Americans and people watching this from other countries are like, wow, these people all live in mansions. These are all teardowns for $1.1 million. They're all houses that are in severe disrepair, very little land, nowhere to park your car. That's $1.1 million. That's the benchmark. Compared to last year, annual growth, both TREB 1.42% and the City of Toronto 0.3% was minimal. These composites are likely to start printing a negative growth without dramatic shift to the inventory and sales trend. So there it is right there, the 12-month percent change for the composite benchmark price of homes across the Greater Toronto. So we're looking, yeah, there's the elephant trunk. We talked about this elephant trunk. There's the elephant trunk there. That's how I like to call it. And Greater Toronto has seen a supply surge, demand crater. And basically it goes in, we are seeing more and more. And sorry, guys, I just have somebody calling into the show here. I'm really sorry about that. Anyways, there it is right there for housing, folks. And what do we say about housing? Danger, Toronto housing market in danger of collapse. And we've been very vocal about this. Toronto, okay, I don't know what to do here. Danger. Toronto housing market in danger of collapse. Toronto piece of crap house opportunity of a lifetime. $1 million for a garage in Toronto. Toronto housing market in danger of crashing big time. Investors fleeing. People will be underwater. Toronto money cash illegal housing crisis 4 years ago. It just Toronto versus Vancouver housing scam. Housing foreign tax to save the day. And it keeps going on. Toronto housing ripoff. Toronto housing market on fire. Chinese money has arrived in frantic pace 6 years ago. Toronto housing severely unaffordable. Young families leaving Toronto. CCP money laundering. It's a never-ending story with Toronto and the housing market. It's all money laundering, right? So it's propped up these homes and created these artificial shortages with all these empty homes. And yeah, it's been very damaging to a lot of people. I'm really, I have to apologize for this. It's just, nobody knows I'm live, so people just calling me and messaging me and trying to get my attention, and I don't, it's really hard when, I'm not going to get into that right now. Anyways, guys, that's what's happening with the housing market in Toronto. So, there it is. And, yeah, when no one gets notifications, people start to call and wonder if I'm doing a pre-show or this show, and they're not getting notifications. So nobody knows I'm live, right? So it's tough, you know? Deborah Hart saying, welcome to open prisons. When tent cities are now a thing. Yeah. So, all right, let's see what else we could cover here. So, we love you, Mike. Relax and breathe. We are all here for you, bud. We love you. We love your work. I know, Mr. Nobody. I love you too, buddy. I'm not getting over. It's kind of hard, getting the message across when the platform should be doing that work for me and letting people know that I'm live and that, yeah. Okay, so what is going California? Okay, here you go. You guys want to talk? You guys want to talk tents? We spoke about tents. If you guys remember a few months back, it's costing California taxpayers $41,000 per tent to house homeless. Not to house the homeless, not to pay for their food, per tent. We covered this. Now, look what California is trying to pull now. California governor wants to spend $640,000 each for 10,000 mental health beds. Just when you thought the price of tents were out of control, they want to spend $640,000 each for 10,000 mental health beds. And a lot of people wouldn't be in this position right now if their governments didn't screw them, right? Governor Gavin Newsom's proposition seeks $6.4 billion tax on millionaires to fund 10,000 mental health beds. And it goes in to say California voters will decide only one measure in the March 5th primary, and that's exactly what Governor Gavin Newsom wanted. He championed bills to borrow $6.4 billion to pay for 10,000 new mental health treatment beds and to overhaul California's 20-year-old law that funds mental health services with the tax on millionaires. They will be combined into one proposition, Prop 1. So, tents, treatment, not tents. Okay, because we talked about tents before. That was $40,000 a tent, right? Remember? $6.4 billion for 10,000 beds is $640,000 per bed. California has 161,548 homeless, most of which have mental health issues. The total bill for treatment, not tents, would be 161,548. 640,000 equals 1 billion. What is that? 1 point, I can't, that's 1 billion. So, okay, I'm 1.03.4 billion. Okay, let's say it that way, okay? The governor says 10,000 beds will serve 100,000 homeless. No, it won't unless you put 10 people in one bed and keep them there. So they're pulling another thing, another money law. Leave California now. We've been warning people about leaving California for almost 10 years now, with a lot of callers and people on the ground in California making appearances over the years on Mike in the Night. And that's what they're trying to do. They're going to obviously launder billions of dollars back into the bank accounts of these politicians. And that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be laundering money back into the coffers or their pockets. And that's what's going to happen, folks. And that's why they're charging, what was it, $6.4 billion. And that's to, let's find our tent. Let's see if our tent video is up here for you folks, if they didn't take it down. Tent city dismantled. Let's rent a tent. Middle-class Canadians in trouble. More Canadians are forced into homelessness and renting tents 5 years ago. I'm just trying to see tent city. I want to see if I could find that one. Economic takeover. California mass exodus to the red states. Tent cities. High taxes 6 years ago. Let me see if I have the one from 40K for a tent. Australian guy, look at this. If you think it's bad, look at this. Australian rents out balcony for $100 a week. Let me see if I type in 40K. What happens with 40K? 40K. Bitcoin to hit 40K. Wow, they took down my 40K tents. Wow. They actually took down my $40,000 per tent in California. Wow. I'm shocked. Yeah, I'm not shocked. It is what it is. It is what it is, folks. No one should be homeless. Your promise to pay should be an equal exchange, because you giving the bank equity, well, you're giving the bank interest, right? And there's nothing wrong with paying a little bit of interest on your money. The problem is when they're charging you $2.4 million for a house and the average wage earner's earning $36,000 to $45,000 a year. That's a big problem. And that's what money laundering did. And I keep telling you guys, it's all because of money laundering. Oh, no, Mike, the price of material. No, it's money laundering. So, like I said, the next 12 months, hardcore history, one way or the other, says The Last Resort. Oh, Maid. Yeah, I'm really afraid of Maid. I'm really afraid of Maid. And I really hope that prediction I made like 10 years ago doesn't happen. He needs my D-Live channel right here. It's all over the place. It's just what it is. It is. Nobody gets notifications for anything, so nobody knows who's live or what's going on. And that's how they keep us. Okay, so let me. There it is. So he's got the link right there, and I might have to do this on my phone. It's back and forth between Skype and phone, and people message me on Skype. I reply on Skype. They don't go back on Skype. Then they text me, and then I don't go back on the text. And that's just the game we're playing here. All right. That should work out now. Okay, what else is going on here? All right, let's tackle a few more. We got some time for a little bit more headlines here for you folks until we jump onto D-Live. D-Live. And we'll be on D-Live in a matter of minutes here. And we could speak a little bit more freely. And we could speak a little bit more freely and openly. without getting constantly terminated and shut down. And what else do we got? Okay, we got the California one sorted already. Let's see what we got. Wow, there's some serious stuff going on, folks. Some serious stuff going on around the world. I can't talk about that on here. Can't talk about that on here. Can't definitely talk about, can't even. I think I actually covered that already on Morning Coffee with Mike. That's not important. Sorry guys, I'm just making sure, like, I got everything, all my ducks in a row. And Chicago is in a lot of trouble right now. We're going to get, hopefully No Way Jose comes in the show from Chicago, Illinois, who's going to basically give us a little bit of insight on what's happening there. So we know what's happening. So let's head off to the proxy war over in the Ukraine and Russia. Another money laundering scandal we warned you guys about since day one, when everyone was taking sides. And I said, the people in the middle are the ones that matter. Day one, we told you why we haven't picked sides in this conflict. And a lot of big channels took that little theory I had there. Yeah. All right, so now they're hinting for peace with Russia. And we won't talk to Russia, says Zelensky. Kiev will not make any concessions to Moscow, the Ukraine president has said. Ukraine is not willing to hold any talks with Russia, President Vladimir Zelensky said on Saturday during a joint press conference with the EU. Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. He also denied recent media reports that Kiev's Western backers are pushing to engage in negotiations. Now, none of the EU and US leaders, our partners, are putting pressure on us in terms of sitting down at the negotiation table with Russia, talking to it or surrendering or something to it. He told journalists, "This is not going to happen," he added. I don't think Russia is going to surrender. I think it's basically he needs to admit defeat and actually realize that he lost this proxy war, right? Proxy war is a proxy war, right? On the Russian side, it was a war of attrition. And Russia was like letting Ukraine fizzle out, wind down, lose resources, get destroyed. And it's going to be a very interesting time ahead. Believe me, let me tell you that, folks. It's going to be a very, very interesting time ahead. It's a very interesting time to be alive, and it's going to be a very interesting time to witness. And Russia, in the 2014 following another referendum, in October 2022, Zelensky also signed a decree banning Ukraine from holding any talks with Russia, President Vladimir Putin. So this is a big problem because this guy now does not want to follow the script, right? Remember, folks? There's a script here. He's not following the script. He needs to follow the script. Zelensky needs to follow the script. He's not following it. So this war has fizzled out. People are tired of this, and he's not following the script. And that's going to be a big problem for him. So once you play with the big boys, and you start going against the big boys, watch what's going to happen, folks. Watch. Okay, I'm just messaging someone here, just doing a pre-show. Okay. So there it is right there. That's the whole Zelensky angle on things. I just thought I'd share that with you guys. And it's just been an absolute, in my opinion, it's been an absolute waste of time talking about this war in Russia. What a waste of time. What a total waste of time this whole Russian war has been. Waste of time, life, munitions, energy, families, everything, man. What a waste of time. All these weapons. So we got all these weapons taxpayers paying. And my birthday is on Halloween. And then we got Debbie in the house saying, read druthers this week about Pog. And Russia should just annex Kiev. It used to be a first capital city. Ukraine needed to get a life. Yeah, distractions. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah Hart just hit it right on the head. It's a bunch of distractions, like we've been saying. Huge distractions. It's been all lies. It's been all lies. They've been lying to you about everything, folks. And the best part is we have a decent track record. We never really took sides. The only side that I was always against is the whole money laundering. The money laundering is why we're here today. And I don't even know how many times I could say that to you folks over and over. We're trying to make sense of everything, creating all these artificial shortages, price of everything going up. We're here because of money laundering. Foreign investing has destroyed. When criminals are bringing over hundreds of billions of dollars on a yearly basis, it's going to disenfranchise your local population because local population can't keep up with criminals. And that's something we've been so very vocal about for the last 10 years on this damn channel. Yeah, we're going into a deep rabbit hole here. Deb D22 is saying forefathers are all Masons. I think we covered that on Mike of the Night in 2017 or 2018. We did a whole secession, and no, it's Mason time. I think the show was called "It's Mason Time," discussing and going over photos and paintings of the yeah. Yep, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Plain and simple, folks. Zelensky's not following the script. And when you don't follow the script, you will go down just like Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein and all the other people that have gone down. They were allowed to participate, be part of the script, allowed to stay in power. And then once they went on their own or once they seceded from the script, they were taken out. And Zelensky's playing a very, very dangerous road right now in not following when they're hinting towards him to basically cease fire or it's over. Let's start negotiating peace. It's fizzled out. It's game over. All right. Woo! Woo! So it is 6:36. I'm going to dim the lights here in this room. The lights are on and pretty bright here tonight. I'm going to dim it down a little bit, and we are going to get ready for our Mike, hang in there. Don't be discouraged. You know the game. I know, Philip. It's the Real Life Muppet Show, Mike. You should get that hat on your soundboard. Oh, no. It's the Real Life Muppet Show, Mike. You should get that on your soundboard. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting such blurred vision at such an early time. And usually my vision starts to blur around 3 hours of the show. But I'm getting this early. But that's okay. That's what happens when you get old. That's what happens when you get old, folks. All right, let me see if I still have the D Live here for you folks. Let's see if we get the D Live here for you folks. There's the D Live, folks. We're going to be switching over in a few here. I'm just going to go check on my family, make sure everybody's okay. And I'm going to get myself more water. I've ran out of water. And hit the bathroom. And yeah. Yeah, most are asleep. Most are asleep. Most are asleep. So we got... All right, amazing pre-show. Just letting people know that we're doing a pre-show. There's quite a few people in the comment section here, rocking and rolling. And so I don't know if I could even read that on this comment. There's a comment on DLive. I don't think I could read it here. It's a complete difference. When you are on two sides of the... When you're on two sides... It's really hard to look at the comments on another platform and then try and relate them on another platform that you're censored on. And you're like, I don't think I could say this here. I don't think I could say... I'm going to get in trouble. So, okay, we got somebody here. Greetings from Mexico, says Kim Wilson TV. Good evening. And Olympic Games will show you their next move, says Deborah Hart. You know, I totally forgot about that. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Mr. Nobody saying my vision is going too, Mike. No fair. Your vision, Mr. Nobody, is going because I think you're already hitting the... I don't think you're drinking whiskey. What are you drinking? Crown tonight? Crown, Canadian Crown Royale? That is whiskey, sorry. No, I think you're hitting something tonight. But that's okay. Kick back and relax because it's Mike in the Night. The voice of the Commonwealth. And we got people jumping back and forth. And, okay, folks, I shall be taking care of a bit of business here before we go live. I'll be going, so it's 6:40 p.m. right now. So in 20 minutes, I will go live full-blown on Mike in the Night for you guys. And, yeah, we'll be going full-blown here. Oh, he's having beer. Okay, beer. Sandy Sanderson's been watching you, Mike, for 6 years. Seems like a flash, brother. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a really quick... Watchers Talk. Hi, guys. Finally got some time to tune in your day off. So we got Watchers Talk in the house. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow him before we go live on DLive, our new streaming platform. And we will put up the replays on whatever platforms we can. And we're having trouble streaming on most platforms now. We're having a really tough time. Really, really tough time. It was a big eye-opener for me this week, folks. So we're just going to head off to DLive in a few here. And we will take it from there, folks. All right, guys. I'm going to give you guys the link one more time. I got the DLive open here. The chat is flowing really nice. Here's the chat. It's flowing. And the guys, I told you guys already, I'm going to keep this chat open all week long at work. And it just sits here. See, look. It just sits here. It's telling me I'm spamming. So there it is. Look. It actually sits here all week long. And I could go through it, and you guys could send me messages through the week. All week, I'll have it open on like, while I'm at work. I'll have it open for you guys to send me messages on there, or send each other messages on here, because we know who we are. We know who Mr. Nobody is. We know who Gary is. We know who U.S. Patriot 1776. We know who these people are. So we know who we are. So when we talk to each other on here, it's really nice that we can pick up and drop off messages through the week, and DLive is doing that. So that's really nice for DLive. And I'm going to give you guys the link right here, and I'm going to go check. There it is right there, folks. And my friends, are going to be signing off for a bit, for 18 minutes. And I will be back on DLive Live for you guys. And we will be taking care of business from there. and we will talk later. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.